5-foot sailboat called the Dolphin.
Atlantans run the cruises, and we're going to catch up with them at dockside here in Nassau in just a few moments. But first, there is a side to Joan Collins that we don't hear very much about. And tonight, Joan speaks very candidly about her daughter's brush with death.
I think that I've got something that a lot of women like, and that's glamour. I've always been rather outspoken and rather candid and tactless and undiplomatic, all of those things. I am quite successful now, and I've worked bloody hard for it.
When Joan Collins first decided to become an actress, she was 15 years old. In the last 35 years or so, she has appeared in more than 50 movies and become a household name thanks to her role as Alexis Carrington on Dynasty. Her personal life has been a series of ups and downs, of romance and rejection. But somehow, Joan Collins has put it all in perspective.
I suppose that my highs have been a lot better than my lows. But it's as though you can't always be just sailing smoothly on the crest of the wave. You know, you go on the wave and then you go down. And then, now hopefully I'm on the crest right now, or getting to the crest, and it'll last for a while. But, you know, if the success didn't last, which, you know, this kind of success doesn't last forever.
Really?
Oh, no, not really. I am totally adjusted to that.
Joan has had a more difficult time adjusting to marriage. Her 3 trips to the altar with Maxwell Reed, Ron Cass, and Anthony Newley all ended in divorce. And each time, she says, it's been a little more difficult, a little more painful.
I hate it. I hate the whole idea of divorce. But still, I believe that one should not spend one's life with a person who does not make one happy. I just don't. But I certainly like the idea of living with somebody and being with somebody. I really do. I think that's rather important for me.
The most traumatic incident in Joan's life happened nearly 4 years ago. Her daughter Katie was hit by a car, leaving her in a coma for more than a week. Doctors were not sure if she would live, but Joan's determination helped her daughter survive.
It's difficult to talk about it, you know, Ray. Well, first of all, the feelings are as a mother, as a concerned parent, which is what I always was, and still am. This can't be happening to me. How can this happen to me? How can my child be knocked down by a car? I, the most careful mother in the world, who, and then after the initial feelings of how, why, all of that, then the next thing is, after you have the prognosis of that she may not live, and if she's going to live, that she will, you know, be severely physically and mentally handicapped. All I could do was just to say, no, it's not going to happen. I still get very emotional talking about it. It's difficult. It was nearly 4 years ago, and Katie is, you know, 100%, and miracle.
Whether it's her children, her husbands, her lovers, or her career, Joan Collins has always lived her life in the public eye. And the more popular she becomes, the more press coverage she gets, much of which she says is blatantly untrue. But a few months ago, Joan did some uncovering of her own when she posed for a revealing layout in Playboy.
Apparently it sold more copies than any other copy of Playboy. It's now become some kind of collector's issue. And it made me very popular, not only with men, but also with women over 40, who said, she can do it, so can I.
So what kind of man is Joan Collins attracted to?
A lot of women say, oh, well, you know, as long as he has a good heart. No, I like men who are attractive physically. That's quite important. Which is why people say, oh, Joan Collins only goes out with younger men. Yeah, I actually do. Mostly, I have been going out with younger men because I find that older men have a tendency to let themselves go a bit to seed after they've passed about 45, although there are quite a few exceptions. And, of course, compatible interests. I'm not interested in sports, so it would be better if the man I was involved with isn't a football fanatic.
Joan Collins Collins is remarkably candid about her life, but she is far less revealing when it comes to future episodes of Dynasty. Fans of that show know that the season finale ended with Alexis in jail, accused of murdering her bodyguard. Joan won't even give a hint at what's going to happen. So while the future of Joan Collins, actress, author, and mother, seems secure.
And if you want to find out more about Joan Collins, just pick up a copy of her book called Past Imperfect.
And now here comes the Dolphin. It's going to be our home away from home all of this week, and it's docking right here in Nassau to pick us up.
We are going to meet the crew. What am I talking about? We are the crew. Plus, we're going to find out where we're going in the Bahama Family Islands. It's going to be a great week.
But next on PM Magazine, we're going to meet the man who started the first breakdancing school in the country.
Now here's Marilyn Beck with the latest report on what's making news in Hollywood.
Hi from Hollywood. I'm Marilyn Beck with this inside story. Don't be surprised if this turns out to be the final season for Different Strokes, no matter how well it does in the ratings. Gary Coleman's contract expires at the end of the season, and the series, of course, revolves around him. And though no one will officially admit it yet, sources close to the show tell me that Gary wants to move from different strokes to different things. He might still look like a kid, but he's 17 years old, and he's getting tired of having to work with storylines he feels aren't suited to his age. Danny Cooksey was added to the cast last season to play Gary's younger brother, and the 8-year-old is so impressing NBC brass that there's talk of starring the youngster in a series of his own when Different Strokes takes its final stroke. Danny was proving his talent even before he was signed for the show. He had guested on other TV series, had appeared on stage with country and western stars, and had even cut an album and 2 single records, a show business veteran by the age of 7. Meanwhile, Melissa Gilbert is in Texas, making her first feature film, Sylvester. Melissa, who grew up on Little House on the Prairie, reports it took her 2 years to land her first film assignment because of the stigma of being a TV actress. Melissa is hardly the first or the biggest name to have felt such a stigma. Even Mary Tyler Moore has been having troubles. Mary did score brilliantly in Ordinary People in 1980, but since then she's only made 1 movie, the flop 6 Weeks. And in recent months, she's worked in a TV movie and in a home box office production because she couldn't land a decent big screen role. As for Melissa, she kept auditioning for movies and lost out on them all until Columbia finally decided to sign her for Sylvester. 4 months after she screen tested and only a week before she had to start preparing for the role. She admits the only reason she landed the movie about a cowgirl who raises her 2 younger brothers was because the studio couldn't find a suitable 16-year-old. Melissa is 20, but looks much younger. And that's my exclusive report for this week. See you next time.
Well, you didn't waste any time. We're here 5 seconds, and you've already changed into your bathing suit. We haven't met anybody yet.
I am ready for the Dolphin. I'm ready for a lot of fun. I know we have to work, but I hope there's going to be plenty of time to relax.
Well, I know a place where you can't relax. It's a school for breakdancing in Berkeley, California.
Do it for the fun. Right, guys? The money. Right?
It's called like suicide. You put your hands over your face and spin 20 times in your head and kind of like hope you end up back on time.
Girls love it, hey.
Yeah, the guys love it too, because it's fun, because it keeps them in shape, and because it's in. But breakdancing has gone beyond trendiness now. It's now legit. The street is no longer the only place you can learn it. Crispin Pierce is a dancing man who got hip to the fact that not only street people wanted to learn to do this. So for the rest of us, he established a school for breakdancing in Berkeley.
All right, let's work on our back spins. Everybody please sit down, put the left leg out and the right leg bent. And we lay down, right leg through, left leg up, and keep the legs separate. Now try to balance on your upper back. I saw a need for people to find out how to do this new dance form. So instead of going out on the streets and getting all bruised up and skinning up your knees and trying to learn that way, I figured, why not offer classes? Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch 5, 6, 7, 8, switch cross.
Jane Fonda work out my foot. Richard Simmons never showed us how to do this with muscles we didn't know we had.
You get groin injuries, you get bruises, you get stubbed toes. There are a lot of things that go along with it. But serious breakdancers are willing to pay the price.
Well, you can't lose your hair if you don't spin right.
My back, all the vertebrae are a little dented.
You have to take the pain to want to do the dance.
Crispin says, believe it or not, it takes work to keep breakdancing safe and fun. You can't be safe when you don't know how far you can push your body, and you can't have fun if you hurt all over. And Crispin's students have fun.
You should see people when they get the backslide. They look like, Michael Jackson, and they just say, wow, and they look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm doing it. Take it home and show their friends or their parents or their children even.
Yeah, not everybody here wants to do it for the same reason.
My mother likes to see me dance sometimes, and I don't really know how to dance that well.
Once I learn, maybe make a little money on the streets.
Got to learn how to break dance. I want to look bad. What can I say?
Whatever the reason, Crispin Pierce brought them here. Not only is he promoting a new dance form, he's keeping the kids off the street.
I feel great. It's a thrill to be teaching. I'm privileged.
Sailing on the Dolphin this week is going to be a real experience because everybody works and cooks if they can.
Now, these are two people you're going to see a lot of this week, Captain Gene Baird and his first mate, Thea Bushel. Now, you told me you could teach me to sail in about a week, right?
Oh, I think so. We work hard at it.
If we work hard, yes. It'll take that long.
Well, next, we're going to see a plane that you can learn to fly in less than 30 minutes.
I love the rich, whole wheat goodness of Kellogg's Mini Wheats. But the delicious frosted side makes the rich kid in me open wide.
The nutritious shredded wheat helps keep me on my toes. But the little ballerina in me thinks the taste steals the show.
Kellogg's Mini Wheats, wholesome shredded wheat for the adult in you, great taste for the kid in you. So they're delicious and nutritious.
The whole grain wheat really packs a crunch, but the delicious taste gives it just the right punch.
You know, that Bahama sun is very hot, so they're putting up a tarpaulin to give us a little shade when we sail here in just a few minutes. You know, there's a new kind of airplane that they say that you can learn to fly safely. Your first solo after 20 minutes in your first lesson. Let's see.
Oh, loud and clear. How many?
You're sounding good, Erica Roo. It's loud up here.
Okay, fine. You having fun?
This is magnificent.
What we felt we could do is produce a vehicle which you could fly that had virtually none of the critical characteristics of flight, and where we could possibly introduce people to the idea of flying in a super safe manner where they could have a lot of fun and with very little thought and attention to their own safety.
So Steve and his co-workers, Dan and Ad, spent the better part of 3 years designing and redesigning a new air vehicle, one that would be safer and less expensive than anything else in the market, and one that would fit into the trunk of a mid-sized car.
The first time I saw it, I really couldn't imagine it flying. I mean, it looks like a little go-kart trailing curtains behind it. It did not look real at all. It looked like a game, like a carnival ride.
But then Steve set to work explaining the minimal controls and maximum safety of his brainchild, and pretty soon, Michael began to believe.
If a gust of wind hits the vehicle, it will move the parachute first. You will then just swing back underneath the parachute. So don't even concern yourself.
So if everything fails, I just hold on to my parachute.
That's right. If everything fails, you just basically can reduce the power and you'll come down on a parachute and you will land and you will get up and walk away, no problem. Can't do that on an airplane.
Then, after testing the two-way radio headset, Mike was ready for his first solo flight.
When I took off, right when everything was starting and we pulled away and I turned the wrong way and then I turned the right way and all of a sudden I was in the air. And I wasn't too comfortable about being in the air because I didn't feel that I had gotten us up in the air. So when we took off, when we first went up, I was wondering if this wasn't a big mistake. But then about 15 seconds later, I thought, well, this is scary, but I'll sit it out. Half a minute later, I was fine, and a minute later, I was having the time of my life.
Keep it going. That's a full power. Full power.
Of course, you can look anywhere you want. You kick the pedals, you spin around. I spent a great deal of time just taking in whole sections of the county. It was just enjoying the view. It's a view I've never had before.
Okay, now have the power and take her around.
I would say it's much easier to maneuver than a car or a bicycle. You know, it's very slow and it's very calm. You know, it's really very simple, except for the fact that you're way up in the air.
Mike seems to really enjoy flying the paraplane, but like most good things, his time in the sky has to end. He lands it like a pro.
Got it. Oh, there you go, beautiful. Push both forward, you got it. Fantastic, fantastic.
Unbelievable.
You're a pilot.
Congratulations,
Fantastic.
What a flight. You're really fantastic. What a great flight.
Ever had.
Really beautiful. I'm proud of you.
Now that Mike's back, it's time for Steve to do a little showing off.
I just enjoy being in the air. I just think it's a beautiful place to be in. It's pure. It's detached from the world itself. It's detached from the problems on the earth. It's a beautiful environment, and you have total freedom. You can go up, you can go down, you can left, you can go right, and I just love the air anyway, just being in the air. There's just something really exotic about it.
Steve looked pretty slick up there for a while, but then he realized he forgot his gloves, so he radioed in to make sure they'd be waiting for him when he came down. But he wasn't ready to land quite yet.
You can fly this thing up 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet, but the real fun of it all is to be able to just fly around low level and just enjoying the scenery. Just such a charge for us in the program to see people who have never flown before go up and do it. We had one fellow go up and he came down after he landed. He says, I can't believe I just did what I did. You know, and there he was. He had gone into the air and come down. And he did it safely and just had a good time doing it. And this is a whole new field. This is what we think is exciting.
Next, see where today's most pampered fish are living, not here in Nassau, but in their own condominiums.
The water in the Bahamas is so clear that you can actually see the fish. It's sort of like looking through a fishbowl. Now, the fish are so sophisticated these days that they live in fish condos. With the current apartment crunch, who isn't looking for an affordable condominium? These lovely units sell for $1,500, come fully stocked and furnished, and only need cleaning every 6 weeks. If that sounds fishy, you're absolutely right.
A fish won't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book.
That's right, condos for fish. These ordinary tanks filled with extraordinary items are the pet project of Manhattan artist Joey Skaggs, who saw them as an antidote to fish boredom.
I mean, used to watch a fish tank, and after a while it was kind of boring. Fish are mesmerizing, but after swimming around the plant, that's about it. Now you can watch them sit down on the couch and watch TV, or go to the sink and do the dishes, or vacuum the gravel rug. It's a lot more fun.
Of course, getting the tanks to this stage was no small task. Joey spent months in his Manhattan studio drawing fish.
Well, I lost a lot of fish. In the beginning, it was, oh, bottoms up, get the net. And it took a while before I perfected the aquariums to where they are now.
And now, in spite of a few complaints about the tacky decor, the fish are having a swimmingly good time. The possibilities are endless, and Joey hopes to have them mass-marketed by Christmas. They'll cost around $50, which isn't bad for a pad with HBO.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
And while fish around the country move into luxury, Joey Skaggs will be moving along, too.
I hope to stop making personal tanks real soon because I like doing other things. I never wanted to stick with one thing forever. I didn't always want to aspire to become a dollhouse miniature fish tank maker, so I like to move on.
We finally left Nassau Harbor here on the Dolphin. We have 17 people on board, including the captain and mate. And this is Bill Chiappini with Windward Bound. They're from Atlanta. He and his family are on board. You're going to meet all the passengers, which is the crew. We all do the work, apparently.
Yes, we do.
We'll find out how much work we do, as we will, all this week. So, Joyce, what else do we have on the show tomorrow?
Diving into a pool from 80 feet up sounds suicidal, but these guys say it's a challenge they can't live without. Tomorrow on PM Magazine, you'll meet 2 champion divers who've made it to the top.
Then, does this sound familiar?
New Year's Eve is God's way of saying, you don't have a date.
Well, cheer up. Help is on the way from LA's newest comedians.
And on our way to Eleuthera, we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to visit a deserted island. We're going to celebrate Bahamian independence. We're going to visit 2 villages, and we're going to go snorkeling and just have a lot of fun.
A lot of sun, too, but that's what you get down here in the Bahamas. So our destination is North Eleuthera. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.
Diving into a pool from 80 feet up sounds suicidal, but these guys say it's a challenge they can't live without. Tonight on PM Magazine, you'll meet 2 champion divers who made it to the top.
Then, does this sound familiar? New Year's Eve is God's way of saying, you don't have a date. Well, cheer up. Help is on the way from LA's newest comedians.
And if they aren't enough, we know an 11-year-old who loves nothing more than new clothes, video games, and making you laugh.
Good evening. Welcome to PM Magazine. I'm Joyce Morgan.
I'm John Patrick, and in case you're wondering, we're sitting in one end of a dinghy about 35 miles from Nassau in the Bahamas, and we were brought here by the Dolphin. As you probably know, we're on a do-it-yourself cruise, and one of the great things you can do is just pick out a deserted island like Egg Island behind us, come in here, anchor, snorkel, swim, whatever you want.
Just have a good time. And one other thing you can do from the Dolphin is to dive off. It's only 4 feet, so it's no big problem. Tonight, we're going to meet some high divers, though.
You bet. But imagine keeping your cool diving 6 stories, not just 4 feet.
His name is Nicky Starr. He's a 24-year-old super athlete. His sport? Some call it high diving. Others might call it flirting with death.
I have fear. I don't know if it's in fear or if it's just the adrenaline.
going or what it is, but there is something back there telling me don't mess up. But just imagine being on the highest roller coaster you've ever been on before and then coming down.
Nicky Starr is the 1983 World High Diving Champion. And this summer, he's sharing his spectacular skills with audiences at the World's Fair in New Orleans. He's also sharing the spotlight with another star athlete. But instead of competitors, Nicky and Australian high diver Ken Grove will be team members. Coach Bruce White monitors this super duo's 80-foot-high practice dives. Ken competed in the 1972 and 1980 Olympics in the springboard diving competition. But he says high diving is much different.
Oh, it's a lot more dangerous when you get up to a height like that, and you could think you can crash any time if you haven't got your wits about you. To crash something like from 10 meter, you can take that, but crashing from heights like up to 90 feet or even higher, that can really, unless you're in good condition, that could really knock the stuffing out of you.
Staying in good shape means more than diving practice. Nicky says it's essential to work out in the gym to condition his body for the beating that comes from hitting the water at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour. Yet a perfectly tuned body means nothing in high diving without intense mental conditioning as well.
Yeah, well, it's not every amateur diver could just get up there and dive from these heights. You know, it takes a lot of guts and a lot of determination, and you've got to have your wits about you all the time.
Main thing I try to do is relax. Because when you're up that high, you're looking around and things seem so small, and you always have that fear in the back of your mind that if things don't go right, you could seriously hurt yourself.
Nicky's coach says he doesn't worry about the routine dives, but the new or difficult ones are another story.
There's times that I feel a fear, my hands get sweaty, sitting on the ground, saying, all right, Nicky, you've got to hit this dive, because if this is the one you miss, I have to come in and carry you out. And everybody, not just me because he's my coach, because I'm his coach. All the other divers that are there, there's a bond that is unbelievable that I've ever seen, that they are so concerned on get in safely.
The water Ken's spraying on the pool's surface is actually a safety precaution for his diving buddy, who is 80 feet above him.
That is to agitate the surface of the water. When you're standing up that high and you look down, all you can see is the bottom of the pool. So, like for instance, here we're diving into 11 feet of water. Now, standing 80 feet up in the air, you're looking at 90 feet of water, because the 11 feet to the bottom, you don't see the surface. So you agitate the top of the water so you can differentiate between the surface and the bottom.
Performing these dives in just 11 feet of water doesn't bother Nicky. At other times, he's done them in pools just 8 feet deep.
So you learn the scooping technique to save you from hitting the bottom. But you always hit the bottom every now and then. Just hopefully it's not too hard.
It takes more than raw nerve to experience the glories of professional high diving. Technique is also essential to success and safety. But practicing to perfection also means exhausting climbs up this 80-foot tower or its 110-foot counterpart at the World's Fair pool. So Nicky and Ken also work out quite a bit on the springboard to polish their form. Even from this height, they put on quite a show. If it looks like they're clowning around, they are. Comic dives are all part of the World's Fair routine, but these guys make it look as easy as falling off a log.
In a professional sport, you try to make something that's really difficult look easy. You have to have that casual look about it where people say, well, gee, that's not that hard. But then when they begin to think about reality, they go, oh, that's pretty exciting.
The excitement of pleasing their awestruck audience is the payoff for the risks this former Olympian and world champion take. They should be proud of their dual status as athletes as well as entertainers. In the world of show business, where many performers aspire to heights of grandeur, these men have literally made it to the top.
Well, in the background are some of our crewmates from the Dolphin, and they're enjoying another afternoon of snorkeling. It's the one thing that everybody loves to do every time we stop. There's so many beautiful things to see down here. Next, there's something funny about these comedians. They're all women. Hear what they have to say when we come back.
Lotus Weinstock, Carrie Snow, Melissa Harrison. Those are names of women that may not mean much to you now, but they could in the not-too-distant future, because they and about a dozen other women are breaking into a field that was, for a long time, from men only. But things are changing. Are they funny? You decide.
Something very funny is happening at the Comedy Store in Hollywood and all over the country.
I just recently did my first pilot, but he's gone for a month, and we're going to wait and see what happens when he gets back. I'll send postcards. Well, hi, y'all. My name's Laura Lou Lee. This here's my husband, Billy Joe Bob Tommy Tim Boy.
New Year's Eve, I don't like New Year's Eve any year. I don't care what year it is, because as far as I'm concerned, New Year's Eve is God's way of saying, you don't have a date.
My new goal is to be able to say someday that fame and fortune just didn't bring me happiness.
What do Melissa Harrison, May Lee Davis, Carrie Snow, and Lotus Weinstock have in common? They are all successful stand-up comedians.
Hi, I'm May Lee Davis, here to show you ladies the finest line of slightly used men in all of Southern California. That's right, honey, come into my showroom. You can ride one of these beauties home today. I ain't lying. Look at this right over here. Stand up, darling. They won't buy you if you can't get up. Look at this, $1,297. Look at this, extra safety windshield, shag carpeting. Good news, gals, we got a sunroof. I was a teacher at the time. I was a high school English teacher. But I had to leave teaching. I couldn't handle the money and prestige. I taught at a very rough school, Our Lady of Charles Manson Junior High.
Why is it you romanticize when you are not with your family and you think they're wonderful? I miss my family sometimes so much, I think I will cry. And then I go home and find out it was all in my imagination. I'm like everybody's sister that has a weight problem, you know? And you'd be surprised how many times a week I get told that I remind them of someone else.
How are you two doing? Are you on a date or are you just sleeping together? What's happening with that? Small, intimate crowd, let's chat. What do you...
How about us gals? Are we okay? Huh? We are proud to be a woman! When I turned 40, I just kind of gave it up and just allowed myself to have fun again. You know, fun is the better part of funny. Everything in life is better with a backbeat to it. You'd be surprised how you can perk up a long line at the pit stops with one of these. You just walk in, you've got this on, before you know it, feet are tapping. People are talking in rhythm. I just came in for some stamps, but the line is so long.
Styles of humor constantly change. Previously, women's humor was self-deprecating in nature, but not anymore.
I mean, you don't have to put yourself down anymore. People want to hear that you like yourself.
I talk about change. I think that's a real positive thing to talk about. The thing that's nice, especially about the women that you saw tonight, was we're all very different. Everyone has a very unique personality and a unique approach to comedy.
I was home and my mother decided this year that my sister and I were old enough to hear about her personal life, like her sex life, and we're running around yelling, we don't want to know, we don't want to know.
The women were quick to acknowledge the male comedians they admire.
Woody Allen, I'd like to have Woody Allen's children. I think that, actually I'd like him to have my children because I can't afford any more stretch marks.
Robert Klein, his Child of the 50s album is kind of like my Bible. I just think it's a very, very brilliant piece of work. And I think Richard Pryor is the funniest man alive.
Today, women comics are rising stars, not only in LA, but all across the country. After all, it doesn't matter whether a comic is male or female. What matters is making us laugh.
Next, Zippy may look like a chip to you, but to Mom and Dad, he's really just a part of the family.
You're too young for this business.
Kids are kids, kids are kids, it's true.
I've got a business for you.
And moms are moms, they know just what to do.
Ice cold Kool-Aid for sale! We're on the wrong business.
This canister of Kool-Aid's a real crowd pleaser. And for a lot less than soda, we get vitamin C.
Partners? Shark.
Kool-Aid is the one for kids.
Kool-Aid brand soft drink mix.
When 11-year-old Zippy Rinsky goes on stage to perform with his parents, he's a real ham. And it's not surprising because he's been on stage all of his life. Now, Zippy's not very different from most children. He loves video games. Who doesn't love video games? The one difference is he's a chimpanzee.
This is the story of a unique traveling show business family. Dad's name is Jack. Mom's name is Fran. But the showstopper is their son, Zippy, a real chimp off the old block. 11-year-old Zippy is a remarkable performer who delights audiences wherever he travels. He's a human-like chimp who's brought an act and a family together. You see, long before he was born, his parents, Jack and Fran, both had animal training businesses. But after they married, they were looking for a way to travel and work together. When the Rinskys adopted Zippy, they not only gained a son, they got a partner who would win awards for performances on TV and movies. Zippy's been tested and studied by scientists who are amazed at both his IQ and his gentle human-like behavior, one that almost defies nature. After every show, Zippy mingles with the crowd. With most chimps over 4 years old, this could be a dangerous situation. But this 11-year-old is as sweet and gentle as the little boy he thinks he is.
Zippy is the gentlest chimpanzee around the public in the country. And there is no other chimpanzee as well behaved as he is.
Well, Jack, just how much like a human kid is Zippy?
Oh, he's so much like a human child you wouldn't believe. As a matter of fact, we do have some errands we have to run tomorrow. And if you want, I have a great idea. How about babysitting for Zippy for us tomorrow?
So where do you entertain a 100-pound chimp? Well, I decided a shopping mall might be my best shot. After all, Zippy had never tried ice skating, and he was ready to test his form. Later, we made that perfunctory visit to the video arcade. Next, realizing that even today's kids are into clothes, I took Zip on a little shopping binge. That looks nice, fairly conservative. You like that? You like it? No. Hard to please. Hey, this is a nice color. What do you think about that? Is that you? Well, excuse me. What do you think? At last. Not bad. Zip, maybe we should start a band together. What do you think? Okay, Zippy, you've been such a good boy. I'm gonna buy you a toy. Let's see here. Ah, here's your cousin. You like him? No, I understand. I have to admit, after being around Zippy for a while, one forgets at times that he's not a real kid. Hey, Zippy, reach for the sky. Bang! You're dead. All this mall madness works up an appetite, and Zippy, like any all-American 11-year-old, wanted a pizza. Finally, after chasing Zippy down the escalator, then up the escalator, and then down again, it was off to Liberty Land and another show. In a way, Zippy is a guy who lives in suspended adolescence. He never forgets to have a good time on or off the stage, but he doesn't realize he's getting past the retirement age for performing chimps. Zippy is so special because of his lineage. Tarzan's first cheetah was an ancestor, and because he has dedicated, loving parents. That's why this is a family act that could soar to any heights, no matter where the road takes him.
Egg Island is a deserted island, so you ask, just how deserted is it? Well, it's so deserted that there are no people here. Next, see how the Medal of Champions is made.
We talk about athletes from all over the world going for the gold at this summer's Olympics, but what do we mean when we say they receive a gold, silver, or bronze medal? We're going to take a look now at how these historic medallions are made.
Right now, I'm holding a silver medal, which will be presented to one of the victors in the 1984 Summer Games in Los Angeles. And while what these medals represent is of ultimate importance, the precision and talent involved in crafting these beauties is, in itself, something to behold. The Minneapolis-based Jostens Company has the honor of producing the 500 gold, 500 silver, and 500 bronze medals for the 1984 Summer Games. With design elements supplied by the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee, pencil drawings are created of the finished medal's exact appearance.
This is the design that's going to be used on the front of the medal. It's basically the same design they've used since 1928 on practically all of the medals. It's the Greek symbol for victory.
From one dimension to two, the drawing is transferred to a steel plate, and carefully the images are engraved into metal. The Olympic medallion is being born. Now, to reduce the design to actual size, a machine called a pantograph is used. Richard Skalicki, the pantograph operator, is one man who especially enjoys his job.
Well, working on the Olympic medallion is a little like getting elected president, so few get the chance.
Now, the crucial process of creating a steel replica of the finished Olympic medal. Even with 300 tons of pressure applied to the steel disc, several pressings are necessary before it will resemble the 1984 Olympic medal. This is the most painstaking part of the entire process. Ray Stanke is Jostens' master engraver. And Ray, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm modeling up the figures, putting in the fine detail, and just sculpturing the whole medallion.
It's just beautiful. What's the most difficult part of what you do here?
The hardest on the eyes, but I get a lot of satisfaction from it, so it really doesn't bother me that much.
After 50 hours of bit-by-bit engraving, the steel copy looks exactly like one side of the finished medal. Now it's back in the press for the final step before the actual striking of the Olympic medals. The pressing of this production die caps off 2 months of manufacturing time and approximately $20,000 in labor costs alone. Both the gold and silver medals are created from pure sterling silver. The silver is rolled, punched, and heated, all in readiness for the Olympic striking. Okay, you ask, just how much are these medals worth? Well, if you could buy them, you'd pay about $2,000 for a gold, $1,000 for a silver, and $500 for a bronze. Take one more good look. The Olympic medal does have a monetary value, but to put it in those terms is to lose sight of its real significance. Just ask 1976 Olympic gold medalist Dorothy Hamill.
I mean, I get goosebumps still, thinking about it. Ooh, it was wonderful. Well, here come two of our crewmates now. This is Angela and Jeanette. Jeanette, come on up.
Janet.
Come on.
Jeanette, get out of the water, dear.
What have you been seeing out there?
Take off your mask so people can see who you are.
Yellowtail. Yellowtail.
Groupers.
Parrotfish.
Parrotfish.
Lots going on out there,
You can see all kinds of fish here in the Bahama Islands. From mild fish, though, to wild fish, this guy has seen them all. Tomorrow on PM Magazine, follow diver Don Reed on his underwater rounds at Marine World's aquarium.
Before I start speaking tonight, I would like to say something.
Then we'll look behind Rich Little's 1,000 faces to see what keeps this comedian laughing.
And you won't find any Tupperware here. Bob Sarlot unlocks the secrets of a for-women-only pleasure party. So join us tomorrow on our do-it-yourself cruise, and we'll be off to North Eleuthera. We'll go around the Devil's Backbone and Dunmore Town and Harbor Island. So be with us at 7:30. Won't you? Everybody say goodnight. Let's go.
Good night.